Welcome to Satsang Conversations, where we journey across the world to the serene and sacred spaces of BAPS Mandirs. This podcast is your gateway to exploring profound spiritual lessons that echo through time, yet remain incredibly relevant to our everyday lives. Each episode brings heartfelt discussions, wisdom, and insights that help us navigate the challenges of modern life with a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and connection. So whether you're seeking inspiration, solace, or a spark to light up your spiritual path, join us as we dive into conversations that uplift the soul and enrich the heart. This week, we travel to the BAPS Swaminarayan Mandir in Mahesana, Gujarat, to join Swami Yogvivekdas Swami, Swami Uttamyogidas Swami, Swami Gurumanandas Swami, and Swami Tyagpurushdas Swami in a discussion on Gadra Section 1, number 67.
Swaminarayan Hare Vachtamrat, Gadra Section 1, number 67. Acquiring the Virtues of the Satpurush. On 21st March 1820, Swami Sri Sahajananda Ji Maharaj was sitting in the residential hall of the Munis in Dada Kacha's Darbar in Gadra. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of Munis, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Thereupon, Sriji Maharaj asked the Munis, "There is a Satpurush who has no affection at all for the pleasures of this world. He harbors desires only for the higher realms, i.e., the abode of God and for the form of God. He also wishes the same for whoever associates with him. He feels, as this individual has associated with me, it would be of great benefit to the individual if their desires for this world are eradicated and their affection for God is developed. Furthermore, all of the efforts a Satpurush makes are only for acquiring bliss after attaining the abode of God after death. But he never does anything for the sake of bodily comforts. So, with what understanding can a spiritual aspirant acquire the virtues of such a Satpurush? And what understanding causes such virtues not to be acquired? That is the question." So in this question, Bhagavan Swaminarayan talks about a Satpurush, the Satpurush, and he mentions various virtues, lakshans of the Satpurush. For example, that he desires the Sukh of Bhagwan, the Sukh of Bhagwan's abode, the Sukh of Bhagwan's murti. And he has no liking or ruchi for the pleasures of this world or materialistic pleasures. So in your experience as Swamis who have been traveling with Mahesana Maharaj, what virtues have you seen in Mahesana Maharaj that relate to the characteristics given by Bhagavan Swaminarayan in this Vashtamrit?
So, as Swami mentioned, Sriji Maharaj mentioned that he only has the bliss of God. So you see that in Mahesana Maharaj, because he does Prapti no vichar. He doesn't only talk about Prapti no vichar, but he also experiences it. So we were in Sarangpur in 2019, and Mahesana Maharaj wasn't able to sleep at night. It was around 2:30 when he woke up, 2:20 when he woke up. And then after that, he wasn't able to fall asleep. And then when he woke up in the morning, he told me I wasn't able to fall asleep. So then I asked her, "What did you do then?" Swami goes, "I was doing Prapti no vichar." And then he went on to his daily routine. And then after having breakfast, when he went back to sleep at around 8:30, he woke up at 9:30 again. And he said, "Unga jauti nathi. I'm not able to fall asleep." So I was like, "What did you do for an hour?" And Swami goes, "I did Prapti no vichar." And then I asked Swami, "What do you exactly do in Prapti no vichar?" And he goes, "Bas maja aave." So his Prapti no vichar, as soon as it starts, his maja, his bliss, it starts right away. He doesn't have to think of the process that we go through. He has reached that level, that sakshatkar level, that as soon as he starts Prapti no vichar, the bliss continues. So like Shriji Maharaj said, okay, only Bhagwan's, he has the exact, I don't know the exact words, but Maharaj says,
He has no affection at all for the pleasures of this world and harbors desires only for the higher realms. The Bhagwan no dham ke Bhagwan no lok, and for Bhagwan ni murti.
Murti. So you can see that in his life. Like we think he just speaks about Prapti, but he lives it and he experiences the bliss. There's many incidents that happened at night. One time, Swami woke up in the middle of the night to visit the bathroom, and after he visited the bathroom, he went back on the bed, and then he goes to me, smile, and obviously at that time it was Corona because we were in Nagpur, so I smiled, but I had a mask. And then Swami goes, despite of all difficulties, Bhagatji Maharaj always smiled. And then he asked, is that right? And I said, yes, that's right. And then after some time, he rang the pager again. And he wanted to elevate his head. And so I did that. And then he goes, dance. I was like, what? Goes dance. They made me dance in the middle of the night. And Swami was trying to imply that the Prapti no Anand, the Prapti no bliss should be at any moment, at any given time. Because Prapti is 24 hours. One night he woke up and he goes to me, Ke, are you experiencing Prapti no Anand every second or every 15 days? I said, I'm not experiencing every second, that's for sure. So Swami gave me a look. Okay, what are you doing? You have this Prapti and you're still not able to experience this sukha. And I didn't have anything to say. I was like, but that's what the thing is. And then one Swami goes, he mentioned a kirtan by Muktanand Swami. He goes, Biya paya to fir kya sona. And then he goes to me, Biya paya che? Biya paya to fir kya sona is, if we have Bhagwan, then what's the point of sleeping? And then he asks me, Biya che? Biya meaning, have you attained God? And I said, yes. Then Swami goes, then why are you sleeping? If you have attained God, then why are you sleeping? And then Swami mentioned our Prapti is 24 hours. Every second we should experience the bliss of Bhagwan. So we see that he doesn't just talk about it, but he actually lives by it, completely aloof from people, even from places. He goes to different places. I want to stay at this one specific spot. We're in Surat, and then after Surat, remember we went to Bharuch.
Very small Uttara.
So very small Uttara. Surat Uttara is so big and so tall as well. And Bharuch is like super small. And then we're all
Like me, I'm short, I can still touch the ceiling.
and everyone, all the sevaks thought, like, this is so small and they're so big. So we all felt a bit weird, in a sense. And then we asked Swami, don't you feel like this is too small of an uttaro? And Swami goes, no. And he goes, we still have the same Prapti. The Prapti we had in Surat is the same Prapti we have in Bharuch. So you see, his jivan, in his life, he's only focused on Prapti. And he's always experiencing that bliss. So you see what Maharaj said, the characteristic of a Satpurush, you can clearly see it in Mahesana Maharaj's life.
You say that he's not attached to any people, but what he said about places, one incident comes to mind that in 2021, after Nagpur we left. So we stayed there over about 460 days. So for anyone, you would get used to it after a while, because it's the same place. Swami's room, the garden in the back, then there's an open walking area, there's a assembly hall, and those 4 or 5 places. Besides that, and I'll say all the snow during Corona, even those who stayed at home, you're just in those 2-3 rooms constantly. So we left on July 15th, 2021. And Swami first went to Yogi Maharaj Hospital in Ahmedabad. And that time he had to get a small procedure done. And he stayed there for about 25 or so days. And then we went to Saranpur. So if you look at these three locations, in Nagpur, everything was more or less open too, because there's open greenery, there's an open ground. So in one sense, we're in one location, but we weren't congested in that sense. You could still have your space. You could walk freely. Now, when we went to Ahmedabad, at that time, the vaccine had just recently come out. We had all taken it, but we still had to take precaution looking at the results. And so we were all confined to the fifth floor. You can't go to the sixth floor. You can't go to the fourth floor. I think some of us joke that unless you look out the window, you really don't even see the sun. And for 25 days nonstop, we stayed like that. And then after that, we went to Saranpur. Now, Saranpur is really big, very open area. You have the Smriti Mandir, the actual Mandir, where Bapa stays, then Shashimadi Smriti Mandir, and there's plenty of space, and you're seeing new faces. So naturally, you would like to stay in an area like that. So we were in Saranpur for about 2-3 weeks, and one day Bapa wanted to write a letter. So he called me, and it's around, I think, 1:15 in the afternoon in September. So now if you think about it, you're in Nagpur, and Swami's sharpness, he can remember anything. He can, sometimes, like for example, one time I ran into his room in Nagpur for some work, and they had called me right away. So when I came in, Swami noticed that my upper garment, I always keep it on my right shoulder. And that time it was quickly coming, so I threw it on my left shoulder. And Swami said, "It's always on your right shoulder. Why is it on your left shoulder today?" So these small, minute details, I think it will make more sense that how sharp he is in these details. One extreme thing that I experienced with him was in Robbinsville. So during our monthly shaving of our heads, I always do mine first and get it done so I can come back in Seva. And if I need to take care of any letters at night, there's enough time. But that day, Swami wanted to go see the Robbinsville campus. So he went, and then I wasn't able to shave my head until about 11:30 or 12 at night. And in Robbinsville, we know that Swami gave Samip darshan, so many people, about 1,000 to 1,500 people would come daily in front of him, one to one. He would meet everyone basically through his eyes. In the morning, he would meet people, many guests came, and amidst all that, many santos met him, many programs took place. Now, Akshardham, it was basically the center of 2023. Everything was focused on that. And then a month later, during the next shaving, Swami was having his lunch, and he looked at me. He said, "For the first time, you actually shaved your head before I did." Now look how many, like that sharpness he has. Now coming back to 2021, going back. So we got to Saranpur, and Swami wanted to write a letter. So when he started the letter, I think Tyagpur Swami was with me, was taking some photos. And Swami softly asked me, "Where are we right now?" I told Swami, "We're in Saranpur right now." I'm thinking that when you're in Nagpur for this many days, your mind is kind of registered that you stayed in Nagpur this many days. Your mind goes to the hospital. Now, if you're in that confined area, the moment you come out of that area, you would think, "Oh, this fresh air, change of scenery." He can remember any of these details. But we were in Saranpur, he already met so many, hundreds of sadhus in front of him. Puja Darshan had started in public. Then there was a small Santos get together. So over the course of 5-6 days, all the Santos across India had come for his darshan. Because basically this was his first actual public appearance, public puja. So naturally you get excited seeing this many people. And for him to ask me that where are we right now, so I told him something, we're in Saranpur. And then he wrote a letter for about 20 minutes. And then I told him something, it's your time to rest. So let's finish the rest of the letter tomorrow at some time. So then the next day in the evening, around 6:30, I went back in, and then I gave Swami his letter pad and the page he left off on. And before I gave him the pen, I asked him that, yesterday you asked me, where are we? So from that, it completely, he says he's completely aloof from not just people, but from places too. And then I asked him that, how are you able to stay this aloof? Because when we were in Nagpur, we'd always kind of joke around that when are we going to go outside of these gates? And at first we thought this Corona wouldn't, we thought maybe just there for 1 or 2 months. Then after a while, we're like, it almost felt like this is our permanent residence now. And then you go to the hospital. So you can register, you can feel that you're shifting places. Like if I'm in one room, if I go to another room, I can tell that I've gone to another room. But for Swami to shift to complete destination, and place Mandir, and when you're not confined to just, the 10, 15 sevaks or whoever are around him, you're into a whole area, basically an arena full of people. And I asked him that how, from this, I can tell that you're completely aloof. So how do you stay this way? And he told me, "Ke mare stan sate leva deva nati, mare vyakti sate leva deva." He's like, I have nothing to do with the place. I deal with the people. So that sometimes then you see all these santos, parshads, and sadhaks. So how can you not tell that we're in Saranpur? They're not those people, just two, Maharaj and Swami. And because of that, I can stay aloof. I can travel to 100 different places. But like Swami said, Maharaj and Swami are always with him. Not just places, but even in his own daily, what he does throughout the day. Obviously, just like us, he wakes up, he eats, he goes out, he goes to Sabha. So his daily routine is very similar to ours. But when you actually observe him, it's very different. So another incident just came to mind was in 2023, and Swami was having his lunch. And after that, Swami has yogurt water. So basically, we take yogurt and we add some what we call chas. And he was having his chas. And Swami, again, like not just internal, but even the external factor is very different from us. He likes his chas to be warm. So if you're having a smoothie or something, for example, if he was going to have a smoothie, he'd warm it up first and then drink it. So for 2 days, I forgot to warm it up, and then I realized after he had it, when I went to go wash the bowl, I realized it was cold. So I told him, Swami, why didn't you say anything? You should have told me because you can get sick. You don't like having cold food or um, drinks or anything. Chas for your water, you like it warmed up. And then Swami said, why should I complain? Tamara siya na Bhagwanu Janusandan Rako. So he said, why should I complain? You should just focus on your connection and rapport with God. And because of that, it doesn't affect me. So not just places, items, people, completely aloof.
In Toronto, this chutney or something came.
Yeah,
And
the green chutney.
the green chutney. And after he finished eating, Sancharit Swami asked him, okay, this chutney wasn't properly made. Why didn't you say anything? And at that time, Swami, he didn't say, okay, what's the point of complaining? But then after that, we asked Swami, okay, this is your Niswadipanu. What is exactly Niswadipanu? And then at that time, Swami Maharaj said, કે એને એવું ના હોય, એને તો મૂર્તિ સામે જોઈ. He's always focused on the murti. Even at that time, he mentioned.
So it's even nothing to do with taste. So a funny thing happened since you said Toronto. Vinay Priya Swami, who cooks for Sai Maharaj, so he had gone out to visit someplace, and he was running a little late. Now I have a basic idea of how you can make Bapa's food. So he called me on the phone saying, don't worry, just be confident, make it. And so I mean, naturally I was kind of scared. So I've seen him do it hundreds of times, so you can see it. But when it's actually you have to do it, it's a different thing because you can maybe copy the technique, but matching the taste would be a bit difficult. And so, he was having his quinoa khichdi. So basically, quinoa mixed with vegetables. He had that, so I made it. I tried to do the seasoning and spices according to my ability. I tried to taste it fine to me. Obviously, there must have been some type of differences. And then, I went to go feed Swami. And then, halfway through his meal, I was like, how did it taste? And then Swami said, why do you ask? I was like, it doesn't taste different today? And he's like, no. And then I was like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. He's like, why? I was like, I made it today, not me made it, Swami. And so I was like, no, I don't have, like, when I eat, I don't ask my tongue, I ask my stomach. I have to do with the ingredients. And like, he's completely aloof. Whether whoever makes it, it's, you can see in Swami's life that it's not that that the scriptures say he's aloof. It's not that even himself says it. It's easy to say that I have Maharaj and Swami, I'm thinking of God, I feel this. But when something happens, or when some circumstances change, then when you feel that Prapti, that attainment, that's the I think.
Like you mentioned, he's completely aloof. So when we're in Nainpur, some people felt really bored in Nainpur because it's the one place all the time, the same thing over and over again. So people wanted to leave Nainpur. But we asked Swami, Swami, do you have this itcha? Do you have this desire to leave Nainpur? Swami goes, no, everywhere I am, it's Akshardham. So you see that, even in Nainpur, he was so contempt. And so, you can explain, emne shanti ati hai, emne bilo koi prashna na to. But the interesting thing is, he's aloof from people, places, and like other things. But at the same time, he has so much mahima. When someone is aloof from people, like emne koi sa leva deva bo na hoy, so you wouldn't really interact with them. Your mahima goes down for them. But in Swami's Jivan, you see that he has so much mahima for everyone. And one reason is because of the Prapti, he sees everyone kya bada Bhagwan na bhakto se and mukto se. And that's why he also connects. He's aloof. On one side, he's aloof, but at the same time, he's also connected to everyone. It's because of the Prapti. And you see that in his Jivan. He has so much mahima for the Hari Bhaktas and Santos that we have heard so many prasangs that he like bows down to everyone. After puja, you see, like constantly like folding his hands. We get tired. So Priyavrat Swami in Africa, he asked, Swami, aap haath jodo so kantaro nahi? Don't you get bored of doing this? And Mahan Swami goes, Haju trupti thati nahi. I'm still not content. I want to do more and more. And once in Nainpur, Mahan Swami goes, whenever I do darshan after puja of Hari Bhaktas and Santos, I think I'm das of everyone. Individually, I'll think, I'm his das, I'm his das, I'm his das. So you see how connected he is. And Bharna Lokono to Swami has mahima, but even the Sevak Santos, he has so much mahima for everyone. Like when he's eating, like time to time is most of the time he's looking down and eating, but then time to time he'll look towards the Santos, Sevak Santos who are seated in front of him. So once Gurumanan, you can say this. You asked Swami.
And in Nainpur, Swami was doing some letters, and then he was supposed to get on a Zoom call. So there was some technical delay with the system. So I think it was with America, the call. They told us we'll be about 2-3 minutes. So Swami was just sitting. So I asked Swami, we've been in for about 6-7 months. You just see us 10-12 people all day long, multiple times throughout the day. And you can see this in your own family if you stay. When you see the same person, you feel like, okay, I need a break from this person. Let me go out. Let me have some fresh air. Let me go for a walk. Let me, possibly go to the park or something, and then I can come back. You just need a break from certain people at times. So I told him, you see us all day long, constantly, 10, 15, 20 times during the day. Don't you get bored of seeing us? And he said, never. And I said, why is that? Because each of everyone are a mukta. He sees us as a mukta. We're all divine beings. And I said, yeah, but you see us multiple times during the day. He's like, each time when I see you, it's completely brand new. I feel that, so even though he's this aloof from us, the love and affection he has for people. Just this morning, this morning, on September 9th, Swami had come for, out of this room, into his meeting room, and he was meeting some Hari Bhaktas. And the last person, I believe his name was Kirit. He had come for Swami's darshan. I mean, I didn't know he would. I don't think we would either. And Swami said, I came to your house and I had dinner at your house one time. Now that must have been at least 20, 30 years ago. Yet he's so aloof, he could still connect to the person. And that's like what Swami said, his mahima. He's the glory he has and the greatness he sees in everyone, it's beyond our imagination.
So one personal experience that I had, it was like we stay with Swami all the time. એટલે ભેગા રહીને મહિમા સમજવો એ પાંચમી ઘાટી છે. એવું કહ્યું છે. It's very difficult to understand the mahima when you staying with someone. And Swami is staying with him 24/7. Swami knows how I am, how many mistakes I make, yet he forgives. So we're in Nainpur, and at that time we had the alarm mat. So when Swami puts his feet, the alarm would go on. So at 5 o'clock, the alarm went on. The alarm went off, and I woke up and I saw Swami was not on the bed. He was on a chair. And I was like, how did he come from the bed to the chair? So I quickly went to Swami and asked Swami, "Okay, since when have you been awake?" And Swami goes, "Ardho kalak thi jagu chu. I've been awake for half an hour." I was like, "What did you do? And how did you get off the bed?" And Swami goes, "Ke hu side mathi jata cho." Okay, I went from the side, the other side, and then I sat on the chair. I said, "What did you do?" I was like, and Swami goes, "Ke I saw you sleeping, and I went to you, and I did 5 pradikshnas of you. And then I came and sat, and I let you sleep. And then I thought, ke have hun tamne jagadu." So then I woke you
This
up.
was in the dark without any.
No, there was some light.
There was some light.
It was at 5, so you can have the curtains were closed, but you can get some light. It wasn't completely dark, and we don't have Swami's room completely dark. So Swami, so you realize, guess, bega hoye kya thi mahima samjhe, but Swami doing pradikshna. So I was like, "You don't have to do this." And Swami goes, "Okay, no, I have to do this." So Yogi Baba used to do it secretly. I was like, "But you don't have to do it." Swami goes, "No, I have to do it." Another incident that happened in Nairobi was Swami woke up in the middle of the night around 12:15 to visit the bathroom, and then he came back. And before going back to sleep, that day was Ekadashi, and whoever does Ekadashi, Nirjala Upwas, and does Jagran, Swami becomes so happy. So then we had done Upwas and Jagran. So before Swami went on bed, Swami bent all the way down to Pagalagbi, and I stepped back right away. I was like, "You don't have to do this." And Swami goes, "Kya kaido che?" I was like, "Is there a rule that I can't do this?" And I was like, "Yes, there is a kaido. Okay, the great ones are not supposed to bow down to the small ones. કે જે મોટા હોય એ નાના પગે ન લાગવું જોઈએ." And Swami from within કહેવા લાગે, "પણ હું નાનો જ છું." Swami goes, "I am small, I'm not big. I'm not great, I'm small." So you realize he, like he says, હું ગુરુ છું એવું મને લાગતું જ નથી. Many times we have heard Swami say, "I'm guru. I don't feel that I'm the guru." But he just doesn't say it, but he experiences it. It's from within that he thinks I'm nothing, and I'm small, and I'm das of everyone. Everyone is above me, and I'm below everyone. I'm inferior to everyone. Swami feels that way. When you live with him, you can actually see that આવી ભાવનાઓ એ સ્વામી જીવી રહ્યા છે. એટલે
Thing in Salanpur, see, it's like when you say that you're everyone's servant, when you say that you're smaller than everyone, saying it is one thing, living it is another thing. And it's like if you were doing this to show off, it would have come out by now. There's like an example, one made up example, but just to show that sometimes when you're some situation happens, your true colors can come out. So there was a person, he had committed some type of crime, and the police officers came, they arrested him, and he said, no, I'm blind, can't see anything. I wasn't able to comprehend what's going on, and everything went on. They went to court, and so the defendant, his lawyer, he brought a small ball with him, and he immediately threw it at that guy, and he caught the ball. So on the moment, then everyone realized he's not blind, otherwise it would have hit him in the face or somewhere. So when a certain situation happens, it can come out that these are my true colors. But even with Swami, there can just be 1 or 2 people. Now, when we were in Salanpur in 2024, at that time I had sprained my ankle, so I wasn't able to put any weight on the ankle for a significant amount of time due to a ligament tear as well. And that time, Swami was having his lunch, and Vinay Swami was feeding Swami, and I came in for darshan, and there was no other chair. And during those months, I was sitting on a chair in front of Swami, and so seeing there was no other chair, I kind of stood to the side, and I was like, "Well, let me get one." And immediately, Vinay Swami got up, and he gave me his chair, the one he was feeding with Swami. He told me, "You sit," and he went and brought another chair. And then Swami slowly started moving to his left. So we thought maybe he was trying to scratch his foot or maybe his knee. And as much as he could bend down, he tried to bow down to Vinay Swami. And he pagalag him and he touched his head. And we're like, "Well, what are you doing?" Like, we couldn't. Like, this is Surat, this is unity. And seeing this, I'm so happy that you gave your chair to Gurumanand Swami. Now it was just myself, Mahan Swami Maharaj, Vinay Beers, and Uttamyogidas, just all four of us in the room. There was nothing for him to show off. But you can truly see that he really thinks nothing of himself, and that's the type of bliss he generates. And when hear Maharaj is saying acquiring those virtues, like when you see it firsthand, then you actually put yourself in that spot. You realize sometimes we feel like we wouldn't give our chair up, or we wouldn't give something that we like up for that person. Say, well, he's young enough; he can go get his own chair. And you can see, but Swami, even to the fullest, like he lives it. It's not just that he talks the talk; he actually walks it.
So these are the virtues you've experienced with Mansai Maharaj.
One more thing I would like to say. Like he said, it's not for show off or anything like that. We see that because his dreams, like your dreams reflect how you truly are as a person. It reflects your personality. At least Swami's dreams are also like this. He will be pagelaging, he will be doing dhanvats. So one such dream I would like to share. We're in Anand, and Swami Bappa woke up, and then he told his dream to Atmaswarup Swami that in his dream all the Sevak Santos came. At that time, Tyagratna Swami was also Sevak. I had just joined from Saranpur to Anand. And Mahan Swami goes, "Okay, all the Sevak Santos came in my dreams." And I told all the Sevak Santos, "Okay, I want to scold every one of you. I want to tell you guys off." So then I put all the Sevak Santos in one line. And all the Sevak Santos were standing in this one line. And then I loudly said, "Attention!" So then all the Sevak Santos became upright and stood up straight. And then Mahaswami goes, "Then I started doing dhanvats to you guys." So then Mahaswami goes, "Okay, while I was doing dhanvats, two Pelwan, Swami Bappa calls me and Sanchari Swami Pelwan." So he goes, both these Pelwans came to stop me running. And I saw them coming, and I said loudly, "Stop!" And both of you guys just stood there. And then I completed my dhanvats. So then at night, when all the Sevak Santos got together, they all stood in one line and then told Swami Bappa, "Okay, Swami Bappa, you wanted to tell us off. So, whatever you want to tell us, you can tell us." Swami goes, "I cannot dare. I can't tell you guys, and you guys are all muktas." So Swami Maharaj, he said that I want to tell you guys off, so you guys don't move. That's the only reason he said that. But actually, he wanted to do dhanvats to you guys. Then we also mentioned, Swami, we have to do dhanvats to you, not you. Swami goes, "You do or not, it's not up to me. But I have already done dhanvats to you." So you see, even in his dreams, he has done dhanvats to Sadguru Santos, to yuvaks. So all these different bhavnas, like we're in Robbinsville 2023, and Swami was going to Sabha Hall, and Swami was on the elevator, and he was going up. And Kaushal Raj Swami was operating the lift. So he was in such a position where he wasn't able to move. And Swami's lift was coming up, and he was standing on top, controlling the elevator. So obviously, when you're moving up, the feet of Kaushal Raj Swami would come, because Swami is coming from bottom up. So Swami saw his feet and he wanted to pagelag. So he extended his hand to pagelag him. So right away I saw that so I took his hand back. And took Swami's hand back. And then Swami Pasita went to Sabha. But at night, before Cheshta Brahmatsal, Swami asked, "Okay, Swami, why were you going to pagelag Kaushal Raj Swami?" He goes, "Okay, why not?" Swami goes, "Okay, why not? Okay, it પણ ભક્ત છે." And Brahmatsal Swami goes, "But he's so small. He just took Diksha and you're so great." અને Mahaswami goes, "કે ના તો પણ પગે લાગવાનું હોય આપણે, કે we have to પગે લાગ each other." And then Swami goes, "If I can't do it, પ્રત્યક્ષ ન કરી શકું, તો I do it in my dream." Swami, and we see that Swami ખરેખર from within, like Gurumanandas, it's not a show off. He ખરેખર feels everyone's mahima, and he પગે like વારે Swami would say in his katha કે Swami, આપને અમારા માટે કાંઈ સંદેશ છે કે કાંઈ છેલ્લો કાંઈ અંતિમ ઉપદેશ, if you want to give us. And Swami would say કે understand each other's mahima, પરસ્પરસ દિવ્ય ભાવ રાખો, પગે લાગ each other. So all these things he just doesn't say it, but he also lives by it. So all these different things that we see is Karakar Amaje Vatkari Pratham 67.
So multiple virtues you've experienced at close hand. Okay, Bhagwan Murti, Bhagwan Dham, Bhagwan Bhajan. The Satpurush has attachment for only that, but also not attachment in the materialistic sense, but love for his devotees and sadhus. But Maharaj says something here that the Satpurush has such virtues. He also wishes the same for whoever associates with him. So, like you mentioned about Prapti no vichar, is that why he is so insistent on everyone else should also experience that same bliss that he is experiencing, that he is so insistent that we also do Prapti no vichar? When or how have you noticed that Swami has been so insistent that we also follow in these footsteps?
So one thing that we see in his life is his perfectionist. Like he's so perfect in his things. Like in the middle of the night when he gets up for bathroom, and then when he goes back, the bed has to be completely straight, no creases. And if he sees the creases, then he'll start doing it himself. That's how perfect. And then the in the bathroom, like near the sink, we have this towel holder where we put the towel. So the towel should be in a specific way. It shouldn't be just emnem muki devano. No, it has to be perfectly done. Even when he brushes his teeth, smallest thing you see in him, like singing the shlok before he eats, it has to be properly done. Like multiple times he has said, "Kya barobar nathi," sing it again.
Right speed.
Right speed, yeah. So we're in Ahmedabad and it was getting late. So I was like, it's late. Let me just quickly say the shlok. So I said the whole shlok quickly. He didn't interrupt me in the middle, but after I was done, he goes to repeat the shlok again. I was like, Pehla kehu joye. You could have told me before, so we wouldn't have. So Swami is perfect in everything. And he wants that too, to be in our lives too. Ki apne pan eva perfect thaiye. So we have seen that he does his puja in the morning. And if you notice, he avoids taking back rest. When he's doing puja, he's upright. He avoids taking back support in his puja. And બહુ ખટકો રાખે કે એમના એ જેવા છે એવા આપણે પણ થઈ એ જે વાત છે ને કે he wants us to be the same way, be perfect in our sadhana. In the morning when Swami is awake, I am privileged to do my puja in front of him. So Swami many times has told me and corrected me how to do a perfect puja. એટલે એમની તો perfect puja છે જ, but he, like you said, કે આપણામાં પણ આવે એ ખટકો રખાવે છે. So I didn't have this habit to sit upright in puja. So I'd always be bent. And whenever Swami says, Swami will always draw my attention. And he would tell me, sit up straight, sit up straight. Done it so many times. Like recently, we were in Bharuch. The Swami was doing his early morning exercise. And he was in the Patra Lekhan room. I was in the bathroom. And I was just seated to patharify my puja. I was organizing it. And at that time, I was a bit bent doing it. And Swami saw and clapped. Pick upright. So even smallest thing, upright. એટલે એમનામાં છે, એટલે he wants us to be in our lives too. Then doing mara, પછી ઝોલું નહીં ખાવાનું. Like in puja, you should never fall asleep. He absolutely hates it. Okay, you have to be properly awake. And in Saranpur, he really gave a nice updesh. It's record કરેલું છે. It will be really સરસ. So in Saranpur, I was falling asleep in puja, and Swami didn't like that at all. And then Swami gave this uplift.
Sukasha Kantarun Dominicanas Puja.
He goes, okay, you get bored in puja, that's why you're falling asleep. Otherwise, you wouldn't fall asleep. Because of this, because you feel puja is like a boring thing to do, that's why you fall. Otherwise, you wouldn't fall asleep. That's how it starts.
भगवान के पास है पास से बदले तो एक माइल छीटे भगवान तो है एकदम स्थूल क्रिया and कट्टावाद most delicious हो चाहिए પૂજા વખતે
ઊંઘ આવે છે.
તો ક્યારે આવે કંટાળો આવે ત્યારે આવે છે.
ઓછી હોય એટલે પણ આવે. ઊંઘ પૂરી થઈ ના હોય તો પણ આવે ને.
સારી પૂરી થઈને આ તો ઘોરો છો
પ્રયત્ન કરીશ ક્યાં
પૂરું થાય એ મનમાં આવે પૂરી થાય મોસ્ટ ડિલિશિયસ પીરિયડ હોવો જોઈએ પૂજા તો વર્સ્ટ
પ્રયત્ન કરીશ.
કે ખાલી શરીરે બધું કરે છે મન પર આવતું નથી કઈ સરસ થયા લબડાઈનામાં સુધારો તો કરો બીજું બધું ઠીક છે એકદમ સ્થૂળ ક્રિયા એક સુધારો કરો પૂજાનો પછી બીજું પણ બીજું તો થઈ જ રહેશે પૂજાનો સુધારો તો બધા બરકત આવે.
કે પૂજામાં only in one, if you become perfect, then everything else will follow. And બધું પછી સરસ થઈ જશે. છેલ્લે પણ સરસ વાત કરે છે.
Most delicious item આવી ગઈ પૂજા. This moment. Am I right?
હા બાબા.
The start from this moment.
Right, start from this moment.
બરોબર છે પૂજા બધા
પૂજામાં એકમાં બરકત આવે, then you will improve in everything. And at the end he goes, this is the most precious, most delicious thing. Puja. So you see, એ તો પોતે માને જ છે. He believes the puja is most precious thing. That's why you see him like in puja, he's totally engrossed in it. But if whoever is associated with it, he also gets, or he also becomes like that. એવો ખટકો એ સ્વામીમાં આપણને જોવા મળે. અને પછી આ તો પૂજાની વાત થઈ, પણ એવી રીતે સ્વામી has given us multiple times ઉપદેશ, like doing a proper આરતી. આરતી કરો તો એ પણ બધાએ વ્યવસ્થિત કરવી. Like when we're singing આરતી and doing આરતી, Swami would make sure કે કોઈ ફોન ઉપર ના હોય. Then doing cheshta, so Swami will make sure everyone has gathered. And only then he would start his cheshta. So he does his proper cheshta. પણ એ ખટકો રખાવે છે કે તમે પણ ચેષ્ટામાં હાજર રહો. You should also be present in cheshta. After every sevak is present, but as soon as the doors open and everyone comes, બધા હાજર ના હોય. So even to this day, Swami would ask, and he would look at everyone and start counting. Is everyone here or not? And Swami would keep khatko, agra, ke આ બધું એમનામાં. So perfection is his gun, but not only in his daily routine, dehi kriya, but also in his anik. He has perfection in his anik, puja, arti, cheshta, all these different things. And he instills it in us as well. And then the vichars, you go, Prapti no vichar karta. All these vichars, you see it in him. And Swami Baba has multiple times told us personally that he should be doing once at night. He goes, tum Prapti no vichar karo cho ke nahi? I was like, prayatna karishu. But you see, he follows up, he asks, તમે આ બધું કરો છો કે નહીં? એટલે like he said કે association જેના સંગમાં આવે એની માટે એમને એવી ભાવના હોય કે everyone also does this.
So as he is experiencing the bliss of God, he wants us to also experience the bliss of God. Later on in this Vaishnamra, because you have seen Bapa in his room and you are also, he's got these cameras as well, and he's in front of thousands of people as well. You've seen that as well. So Maharaj says in this Vaishnamra, again, he's explaining about the virtues of such a Satpurush. He has no affection for anything except God. Despite thousands of people standing before him with folded hands, he does not have the slightest desire for the pleasures of this world. That people are willing to give everything up for him. but he is totally unaffected. He doesn't want any what we call self-respect or people admiring him. How does, you may be aloof in your room when you're by yourself, but when you have thousands of people who are literally um, pagalagging you and offering you lots of respect, how can you remain aloof from that?
I think Swami, his Prapti no vichar does constantly. He always feels that attainment that Maharaj and Swami are always with me. But just as important with that Prapti, I think one of the even Pramukh Sai Maharaj, you've experienced Pramukh Sai Maharaj for about 4 to 5 years when you were in his personal seva. But you see in the Satpurusha's life that along with these constant vichars, the constant thought, one thought that never leaves them is that God is the all-doer. And that's why when people stand in front of him, when they pagelak him, he doesn't feel they're doing it to me. It's all because of Maharaj. And staying aloof and not affected, I think because he constantly keeps that connection that God is the all-doer, he's always stable, he's always happy, he's always content. And in 2019, we were in Gondal. And at that time, it was a very hectic day, and it was around 8:30 or 9 right after his dinner. And a series of things happened. There was like 4 or 5 urgent matters I had to discuss with Papa. One being whether a person should become a sadhu or not. That's a complete lifestyle change. Secondly, one person, his grandfather was about to pass away. So they were seeking guidance that there's nothing that can be done. Should we let him go peacefully? Should we try? Then there was one devotee who was asking to invest millions into a property. One person had asked which major and which college they should commit to. Now, these are completely on every end of the spectrum, whether it's life or death, whether it's your finance, whether it's what you're going to study, because that can shape your entire life, whether you should become a sadhu or not. That's a complete lifestyle change. Then we showed him a construction update video of Abu Dhabi. Then we showed him a video of Robbinsville, of the land and how things are getting ready for the construction and ongoing next phase of the construction. So there were many different things that constantly happened. So after all this, we asked you all these questions. We asked you whether someone should take the path of renunciation or get married, what they should study. Then they're talking about mega projects, the Robbinsville Akshardham, the Abu Dhabi Mandir. And in parallel to this, we have construction going on in South Africa, in Sydney, and India. There was about 14 or 15 different Shikarbad Mandir construction happening at the same time. So I told Swami, don't you ever feel tensed? He said, never. Lesh matane. Not even a speck of tension or stress. And I asked, why do you feel this way? And he's like, I'm just an agent. I don't do anything. Maharaj does everything. And that's why I'm always happy. And I told Swami, you don't feel tense even one bit? Like when we're traveling and stuff, like we do get tense about the luggage. We have to go on a flight, we have to take the train, getting all the luggage there on time, getting like the passengers there on time. And naturally one can get frustrated that we may go and tell someone or get a bit angry on them that you need to speed it up, we have to leave. But we always say you're always in equilibrium. So like you don't even face a speck of tension. He's like, Swami, they're doing it. Why should I have any type of tension? But I try to press so many ways that no, you're actually doing that. But each and every counter question or cross question, you name it, final result, Bhagwan is Gurumanandas. Amikai, Bhagwan because of God is there. And like Sister, I was trying to say, like when we were coming from South Africa, a series of events happened where you felt like everything was in completely odd favor. Everything from the moment we left when it started with a torrential rainstorm that just came out of nowhere. So myself, Tyagpurushdas, we had gotten to the airport first. Then we heard that it's raining. Then Pujanand Swarup Swami was also traveling with us. He had a flat tire. So everyone got scared because in the rain, if there's a flat tire, the car could go anyway. Luckily, then 20 minutes later, they sent another car. Then Swami's lift, there was a little malfunction with the lift, so the lift kind of jerked. And like at that age, it's scary too, right? Because like the
To get on the car.
to get on the car. So problem after problem. Then when we got to the airport, everyone boarded, and they're saying there is a big rainstorm, so you'll have to take a different route. It will add about 3 hours to your trip, 2 or 3 hours. So now you're counting the 1 hour he traveled to the airport. Then he sat on the plane for about 2 or 3 hours. Then, because for us to take off, it took us 2 hours extra for all the clearance. We had two passengers had to depart from the plane. We had to take luggage out. Then instead of a 12 or 13 hour flight, it ended up being 15 hours. Then we got there, and then the 1 hour travel to Melbourne to Bapa's residence. So about 18 or 19 hours of a trip. Yet, when he was sitting on the plane, absolutely stable. And like Bhagwan is going, Kadar Badare Morutawan was there, Bhagwan Atlama. It could have been later, but Maharaj wished, and everything got done smoothly. Now, we're in that time is like, you guys should have checked the flight, what was the pilot doing? Uh, you know, uh, we were at under capacity for luggage. Why do we have to take luggage off? It should be their responsibility. And one of the unique things, because he really does believe that God's doing everything. As far as I know, like even whatever logistics planning we've done, even with you, I don't think he's ever asked about his arrangement. Ever. How am I supposed to go? Maybe he asked for the time sometime because he wishes to give the Hari Bhaktas love and he wants to get there on time. But not about his what his arrangements are, have how am I gonna sleep, what's my schedule like. Pretty much what we tell him, that's what he does. And he even believes not just God to be the all doer, but he even believes that God is working through all of us. So Bhagwan je kare, je saru જ કરે છે. Whatever God does, he's doing for the best. And I think that's why he's always completely stable. Never gets too excited, never gets sad, constant that equilibrium. And that's the type of bliss he wants to give us. When you have that understanding that God is the all doer, it can get you through any situation, whether it's the flight, whether something happens later, when Swami falls ill. You never see that he's depressed or what's going to happen, whether the good news comes for any of our mandirs, or Pratishtha happens, you never see he's like jumping around or extraordinarily happy. We believe that Bhagwan is guys. Almost every tula that we've done, he always said it's not mine. Bhagwan ni tula. We're basically doing our bhaktis towards him. So I think that's one quality, one of the major qualities, along with Prapti and vichar, that he really not just believes it, he imbibes it, he lives it, he shows it, he breathes it, he acts it. And he's constantly just saying, God is the all doer.
We were in Surat and on train, we went on top.
Train.
And then when coming back down, we showed Swami કે જો કેટલું બધું કામ ચાલુ છે, because the whole site is like packed with work. Like Uttaras are going on, the Sabha hall is going on, Pachi Santashram is going on, the Mandir itself, Akshardham is going on. So we told, okay, look how many stones are there and how much work is going on. And then we asked, okay, आपने कोई tension नहीं? Aren't you tense? Like all these things is going well. Is he going to finish on time or not? And Swami goes, no, Bhagwan करता है. Bhagwan is the forward to it. મને કોઈ ટેન્શન નહીં. So ખરેખર અમે તરત, as soon as Swami goes to sleep, he falls asleep right away. કોઈ પ્રશ્ન નહીં. You see him like within 5 minutes he'll be up sleeping.
So we asked a similar question yesterday to Bapa about Paris.
Yeah.
That the Pratishtha is 1 year away, September 2026. There's so much work left, especially the stone work. The stone has not even reached Paris yet. And obviously finances and lots of other unknowns. So just ask Swami, we are worried that will this all be complete and finished on time? And Swami was very clear and very confident it will all be done on time. Bhagwan Che. Pramukh Sai Maharaj, Dili Akshardham, when he was asked.
Yeah.
And everyone was worried, how will this work finish on time? So much work. We know that it was completed in 5 years minus 2 days. But everyone was worried that will everything be ready in time for the opening? And Bapa at that time said, There's so many stones out there on the construction site, small to large, massive tons, stones weighing lots of tons. The Swami goes, Matha upar ek kakri no bhar nathi. Not even a small pebble, that weight is on my head. Ke Bhagwan karta harta che, he will ensure everything is done on time. So we see these qualities in the Satpurush about leaving everything.
One thing
And actually believing ke, we may say Hari Ichha or whatever, but to actually believe it and practice it in your life, it's a different ballgame altogether.
Each day we would try to give Swami a certain update, whether myself, Uttamyogidas Swami, Atmaksal Sai, Shruti Priya Swami. And so people are giving different news. So on one end, you're hearing depressing news. On the other hand, you're also hearing news where Bharats are doing mukbang. And so I told Swami, on one end, you're hearing surprising news. One end, you're hearing shocking news. One end, you're hearing tragic news. One end, you're actually hearing good news. And then, doesn't that affect you? And he said, sure, but too calculated. All the calculations that are happening in your life, around your life, throughout your life, even in any corner of the world, it's all calculated by God. He knows exactly how to do the formula. He knows exactly how to balance everything. And you have to learn to adjust to that. And if you adjust to this, then you'll constantly be happy.
You mentioned ki karta harta. So once I believes everything is, Bhagwan is doing everything. But parinam shu aave. I can't even say ki Bhagwan did it. But the way Mahan Swami does it, he kharakhar mane che. He truly understands Bhagwan is karta harta. And when someone believes that Bhagwan is karta harta, to pachi ene no bhar na re. He wouldn't be on his head. And that we can see in Mahan Swami. So Mahan Swami Maharaj did Pratishtha of Robbinsville Mandir. Kitlo bhavya utsav. And Swami knows, everyone knows, that 12,500 volunteers, they did the Seva from this one letter that Mahan Swami Maharaj wrote. So all these different dedication, this Pratishtha, and the Pratishtha happened on his birthday.
Yeah.
Barobar Bhadravad, no. So it was a historic moment. Everyone remembers it. But after a year, in Bochasan, when I asked Swami, Swami, Robbinsville Akshardham, you made it. Do you know, when did you do Pratishtha of it? Swami started thinking. So who can forget such a big event? And doing it on his birthday, who would be able to forget? But Swami was not able to remember it. And he started thinking, he didn't give me an answer. I was like, it was your birthday. And Swami goes, એટલે see, karta harta Bhagwan છે, તો ભાર નથી. He doesn't carry it with him. He just, Bhagwan કરે છે, હું કરતો જ નથી. He dissolves completely. Then I asked another question, કે Swami, Pratishthaનો તો યાદ નથી, પણ Swami, how many Swayamsevaks came and did all this seva? Swami started thinking, હવે એમના જ વચને, from his one letter, all these Swayamsevaks gathered. એનો ભાર નથી. He doesn't carry it with him. Otherwise, કોઈ કે કંઈક નાનું કર્યું હોય, a small mandir, and he'll be like, I did this, it is my achievement. All these different feelings, all these different vows would come from અંદર એને રહ્યા કરે. It might be, શું કહેવાય, દબાયેલા હોય એને. Suppressed. It might be suppressed, but અંદર તેને હોય. બાકી Mahan Swami Maharaj is completely dissolved. Because he understands Bhagwan to be the Karta Harta. એટલે when I asked Swami how many Swayamsevaks came, and Swami wasn't able to answer that. And then I told Swami, Swami, 12,500 people, apna vachane, they came and they did this seva. So you kharakhar see it in his life. Ke Karta Harta kharakhar man. It's not just for the sake of saying it. He lives it. You can see it.
And he always just gives the credit to Bhagwan and to his gurus. Never did they ever come. Like when we were in Saranpur last year, and it was the Sanskrit Mahavidyalaya Din. So Swami went to a special program, and all the students who were studying Sanskrit had come, and they presented before Swami. And Swami said that this is above your pay grade. You won't understand Sanskrit the same way. I have no base in Sanskrit. So that whole sabha completely beyond my scope because I could not understand what they were saying. And amazing. Like these students will have the Karika memorized, which is 565 shloks, the Satsang Diksha, which is 315, and the Mahapuja on top of whatever they're also studying. So you're looking at about 1,200 shloks, these youth and children they know by heart who are studying there. Next day, Swami was having his lunch, and Bappa had asked for something to get warmed up again. So Vinay Swami went, and it was just myself and I believe Uttamyogidas. There were a couple of us in the room, and it took a little longer than usual. So I asked Swami yesterday with a grand achievement. All of these kids, they came out amazing what they can do, and it's all through your blessings they come this far. I was like, Mara kya hai? Yogi Bappa na Ashirwad hai." And I was like, I agree, okay, it is Yogi Bappa's blessing. You were saying that, but these kids are something between 20 and 25 years old. Yogi Jamaj passed away in 1971. So it's definitely not Yogi Jamaj's blessing, it's your blessing. Like, no. Yogi Baba's kare chago. I was Swami, you believe that maybe, but these kids, it's because of your blessings. That's why they came this far. Ite ge je hoye. પણ બધું છે ને યોગી બાપા જ કરે છે એ જ કરાવે છે અને એમના લીધે જ આ પરિણામ થયું છે. He did it. The results are here, and you can see that's how these kids have moved forward. And I told him, like, each and every time, you always give the yash kirti, all the praises and all the credit always goes to Yogi Bappa. And like, each kare che. Yogi Bappa's doing it. And like, that's why the credit goes to them. And like, Maharaj is saying you're so attached. When Tamaru Astitva is not, he really believes that my presence isn't even there. Everything is done through Yogi Bappa. Everything is done through Pramukh Sai Maharaj. Everything is done through Shiji Maharaj. He says many times, okay, Pramukh Sai Maharaj, you did everything. I'm just here just to sit on the Siasan. I'm here to sit on the chair and just take the garland. Pramukh Swami did everything. I have nothing to do. But in actuality, he's the reason. And you can see that, like the movie Swami said, I believe the target number for Robbinsville was about 400 volunteers originally. That at any given time, you need about 400 to 500 volunteers full time on that day for the work to get completed. Now, Swami didn't meet anyone individually. Just one letter went, and 12,000 came at the end. So you can see that if he really believed that he was doing it, he would remember his birthday. He would remember how many volunteers he brought. He would remember the dates of these pratishtas. And one thing that kind of touched me was during the Shatabdi Mahotsav, Pramukh Sai Maharaj, in January. It was not January, the opening day, where Prime Minister Modi was coming. There was a lot of coordination going on, and we planned a lot that if there's a jam in the networks, we got those high range walkie talkies that could go for kilometers. So at least we could stay in touch because everyone's mobile devices would have been jammed. Now, if there's an emergency or if something happens or if there's a change in program, what do you do? And I was a little stressed, and I kind of met Swami just for a minute the night before. And I told him, Swami, that, Bhagwan karta che, after the we're trained to say that God's the all-doer, but I'm a little stressed. And Swami said, the reason you're stressed, because you're just saying it. Tu kharakhar manto nathi. Jevu manavu joiye evu તમે નથી માનતા હજુ. And he told me this in December. Keju, the way you should believe God is the all-doer, you're saying it, but you're still not believing it. And it તમને બહારની ટેન્શન રહે છે. એટલે આમાં તમે પ્રયત્ન કરો, આ સુધારો તમારે કરવાનો. You have to improve on this. And that's the greatest glory of, I think, Mahesana Maharaj, because he's not selfish about that bliss. He doesn't want that bliss. Oh, it's just like if you're a multimillionaire and you have a whole range of hotels in a posh area, you wouldn't want to wish that a competitor is coming, I want you to be just as rich as I am. You should become just as successful. We'd be like, I make sure that no competition comes. I should have the monopoly. Whereas Mahantami's life, he has no monopoly on his happiness and bliss. He wants each and every person to experience that same bliss, that same joy, that same happiness, and that same Prapti, because there's no selfishness in him. He wants everyone to experience it, and that's what Maharaj is saying here. And I think that's one of his greatest ethos of his life. That with the Prapti I have, that's where the word Prapti constantly comes. The Prapti I have, you should also experience that same Prapti, and we should experience this bliss together.
The first shlok of the Satsang Diksha, Swaminarayan Sakshat Akshara Purushottam. સર્વેભ્ય પરમામ શાંતિમાં આનંદમ સુખમ અર્પે કે બધા સુખ શાંતિ અનુભવે એટલે જેવું હું ભોગવું છું એ બધા અનુભવ પેલા શ્લોકમાં જ લખી દીધું છે સ્વામી બાપાએ.
And that's like what he said, right? The sukh he wants to give. That's how he started this thing. He said, why should I be selfish? I want you all to be happy. Bada jananta. He always considered bada tane, mane, tane, sukhita, bada sukhita, badanu baluj karo. He said that you right, mane baluj balu, badanu ye vichar constantly rahe hai.
So when he
Which
does
is good
his
for all.
vichars, he constantly is thinking about Hari Bhaktos and Santos when he does it. Yeah. So one
Mudra meaning the meditation.
the
You know, when he,
meditation that he does. So one day in Nenpur, Mudrani badi vatoni, we were talking about mudra, and then Swami goes, ke, I think about Hari Bhaktos and Santos doing mudra, ke badhanu saru thai. May everyone become good. Badhanu saru thai. એટલે exact કેવી રીતે લેવું ઇંગ્લિશમાં બધાનું સારું કરવું છે.
Everyone
badanu balu.
experiences happiness.
Happiness, huh? And may everyone experience happiness. That's the constant vichar that I do during my mudra, and then I remember all the santos and the Hari Bhaktos. But then he goes, okay, this vichar, this thought, it continues on and on throughout the day and at night, and it's going on 24 hours. So he's constantly thinking, કે બધાનું રૂડું થાય, may everyone become happy, may everyone flourish. આવા જ બધા વિચારો that Mahesana is constantly thinking. He mentioned that in Nenpur. Yes.
And I think that's you see that acquiring the virtues of the Satpurush, you see that essence in months on his life. That these virtues, I mean, so the list can go on and on.
So the virtues are there.
Are there?
We are fortunate that number one, we have the Satpurush. He has the virtues. We have to recognize those virtues, recognize our drawbacks, and then obviously, as Maharaj explains in the Vaishnavat, that understanding our drawbacks, doing antadrashti, realizing that this Satpurush is so great, he wants me to also enjoy or experience the bliss of God. And karta karta, we will also be able to acquire those characteristics of the Satpurush.
One thing I would like to mention is we might feel, okay, we're staying with the Satpurush, so we have direct contact with the Satpurush. So it's easy for us. But it's not something only the people who are close to him can do it. Anyone can do it. Like you said, okay, he has the virtues. And Maharaj says in Madhya 32, I believe, Manan Dwara Brahmosam.
33. No, sorry,
32.
31.
31.
31.
In Madhya 31, Maharaj says કે મનન દ્વારા બ્રહ્મનો સંગ કરો તો બ્રહ્મના ગુણ આવે. એટલે મનન દ્વારા એટલે you have to think about the guns, the qualities of the Satpurush, and you will acquire them. You will acquire them. And Maharaj mentions it in Sarangpur 3, ke Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasan, and then the Sakshatkar sthiti comes. So constantly thinking about the qualities of the Satpurush, and only then you'll acquire them. So we're in Himmatnagar just now. And in Himmatnagar, he did his afternoon katha. And after afternoon katha, he mentioned કે આપણે તો ખાતા ખાતા અક્ષરધામ છે, કે we'll attain Akshardham while eating. That's what he said. And then the prasad came after that. And the Sant offered him to sanctify the prasad. And the Sant said કે આપે કથામાં વાત કરી, એટલે અમારે તો ખાતા ખાતા અક્ષરધામ છે, કે we'll be attaining Akshardham while eating. And then Maheswami mentioned a really good point. Maheswami goes કે ગુરુમાં ચિત હોય તો. If your mind is on your guru, only then. And પછી સ્વામી said it in a very nice way, કે ગુરુમાં ચિત હોય તો. તે જે તો છે ને, he emphasized it. So then after Swami finished katha and everything, curtains closed and everything, and then Swami was going to sleep. So I was just remembering and doing smoothly the way Swami said. So I said it 3-4 times, ke ગુરુમાં ચિત હોય તો, ગુરુમાં ચિત હોય તો. So Swami listened and he saw this, and then he goes કે ખાલી કોપી કરવામાં રહી ન જતા. કે make sure you don't રહી નહીં જતા.
Don't stay left out.
Don't stay left
Copying
out
me.
by just copying me. Don't just stay left out don't stay left out by just copying me. એટલે આવું કહ્યું. એટલે then I said કે સ્વામી, મારે તો ગુરુમાં જ ચિત્ત હોય છે. I'm with you 24/7. So my mind is always on you. And Swami started laughing. And Swami goes, કે મહારાજ જોડે પણ કેટલા ભેગા હતા અને એ ભેગા જ રહ્યા કહેવાય. During Maharaj's time, many people were with him. But that's just staying with him. Physically staying with him. And then Swami goes, કે મનથી ભેગા રહ્યા, એ ભેગા રહ્યા કહેવાય. Staying in connection with the Satpurush through the mind, that's the only way you're connected. And then Swami goes, કે બધું મનનું જ છે. Everything is your mind. So if your mind is on the Satpurush, then anyone can acquire these Satpurush's virtues. એટલે એ ખાસ અગત્યનું છે કે મનથી સમાગમ કરો છે. Not physically, but through your mind, thinking about him, understanding him. That way, doing it more and more, and then you'll understand and you'll realize all these qualities are also coming to you. એટલે એમાં તો નજીક દૂરનો કોઈ પ્રશ્ન નથી, સ્ત્રી પુરુષનો પણ કોઈ પ્રશ્ન નથી, જેન્ડરનો પણ કોઈ પ્રશ્ન રહેતો નથી. It's your mind and you and the Satpurush through your mind.
Yeah, so Swami has said many times. So like, one time the Santos had asked that we're all all the way in America, and you're in India, and he said, when you Sant Samagam is when you're gaining those qualities, when you're imbibing those qualities, acquiring those qualities within your life. Like what Swami said, doesn't matter whether you're far or clear or close, whether you're a male or a female, does not have any difference. You can still connect with them, and that's the true form of Sant Samagam. A lot of people tell us that you're so lucky that we get to stay with Swami, and we do truly believe that we are very fortunate that he does keep us with him. But even you can attest to it. When we see the type of bhakti these Hari Bhaktas are doing, we feel truly that we are way behind them. I mean, the amount of penance they do, the austerities, the vrats, on top of the Hari Bhaktas who have given their kids to become sadhus or giving donations, these 80,000 volunteers who came for Pramukh Samaj's Shatabdi Mahotsav, compared to that, when we put ourselves into perspective, we're nowhere compared to. So it shows that just because if you're not physically with the Satpurush, you can still acquire his qualities. And I think, because his birthday is coming up, I mean, one of the greatest gifts we can give to him is trying to imbibe what he's come for. I mean, he is a living example of these virtues. And when we connect with him that way, slowly, we'll feel that bliss that he does.
We're in Denpur, and Swami went to the bathroom. And then આવી જ વાત નીકળી, staying close to the Satpurush and stuff. And Swami goes, કે આ વાસણ પણ ભેગા જ રહે છે.
The utensils are
The
always with me.
utensils are always staying with me. But that's not staying together. Then he goes, કે સત્પુરુષના ગુણો આવે તો ભેગા રહ્યા કહેવાય. When you acquire the virtues of the Satpurush, only then you have stayed with the Satpurush. So we can clearly see that physically staying with the Satpurush is not staying with the Satpurush, but acquiring his virtues is actually staying with the Satpurush. And એ બધા ગુણો આપણામાં આવે.
Yeah, and that's the main thing. And if you do that, then it just shows that you're always with him.
Yeah, you Brahmru.
Yeah, at that point, you're always with him by remembering him, acquiring those virtues, and ultimately connecting with him. Then you'll feel that state of happiness that he does.